Hello there, welcome back to Jennie Designs with Paper. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. We're going to do another pattern paper piecing card, so get comfy and let's get crafty. Alright, I've got two pieces of double-sided pattern paper that have been cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, a black piece of cardstock that is currently 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and a card base that will be a top fold A2 size card, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 as well. I did not trim the black paper down yet. Again, I am approaching this card design based on how I think it should turn out because of a picture. So, yeah. I was measuring that. I thought I was going to trim it down, then I changed my mind. Okay, so based on the picture that I saw, this picture had the card broken up into 4 rectangles, and each rectangle was composed of 2 triangles of pattern paper with the black showing in between them and the lines of the triangles going crisscross left to right and then top to and then horizontally across the middle of the top and across the middle of the side. This took a minute, so I cut down my rectangles to 2 inches wide by just under or just over 2.5 inches long, because it's been cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So I had to do a little bit of math there. Math is not my favorite thing, but we're working with it. I did pull out my Fiskars trimmer because I can use that wire to perfectly line up my triangles, and still I missed a couple. There's a couple that I did not notice one corner or the other was out of place. Now, another thing with this is because I needed 4 patterns of paper, I ended up with enough triangles to do 2 cards. So the second card is going to be in super fast motion, and it is a bonus, and it's also a little extra. Also, I had to make sure that my prints were going right side up, which was another thing that I did not really, I hadn't thought about that part, but yeah, I have prints that are specifically the rainbows, and then that blue paper that you can't really tell, it's a blue and white print paper. Those little prints are hearts. So I did need to make sure that my prints were right side up. And there were a few times that the pattern paper didn't fit very well, so I just moved on to another piece and kept moving out. I had a really hard time putting this on straight. I don't know. It's probably because my triangles were not all exactly the same size, let's be honest. So probably what I should have done is made this 4 by 5 inches so that I could have had a better measurement. But I had a really hard time getting them on straight, which meant there was some really fiddly trimming when I went to trim it down. The end card looks fine. The end card looks fine, but I did have a little bit of I had a little bit of finagling I had to do there. And you can see I am peeling this up and putting it back down. I'm using my double-sided, my ATG adhesive. And because I'm not pushing it down super hard until I know it's in the proper place, it comes up pretty easily. I tried to make sure that the rectangles were like mirror images of them. Not mirror images. The same, but in opposite quadrants, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It did take me a minute to figure this out. In fact, this is not the first card I did. The first one I did not turn out. So I put some ATG on the back of this and then remembered that I needed to trim it down, which was a whole nother thing. Let me tell y'all, this was a whole nother thing trying to trim this down with adhesive already on the back. I gummed up my blade. In fact, my blade was due to be changed anyway, but this definitely made it absolutely need to be changed. So I trimmed it down so there was no black along the edge. And then I had to look at the measurements again to make sure I got it down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. That's why I keep flipping it around. I have to trim each side a little bit until I have it the right measurements. You can see I'm picking this sticky stuff off. This was, it was an exercise in patience is what it was. Then I pulled out another piece of black cardstock and I trimmed this down to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And that will give it that black X outside mat. Had I trimmed the triangles a little bit more equally, I probably would not have had to do that, but that's okay. It adds a little bit of thickness and dimension to my card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card base. It's just a white card base this time. And I need to figure out something to put on the front of this, but again, we're back to, don't want to cover up all of my hard work, but I definitely want to cover up that janky middle. So I pulled out this lemon die. This is one I picked up from Hobby Lobby. It's the Momenta brand. I die cut the lemon and the leaves. I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending on the lemon because there is some embossed dimension there on the bottom that I wanted to kind of pick up. It's a little bit easier to see when you've added some ink blending. And I tried to do it up off of my desktop because I was being lazy. And, well, it didn't work the greatest. Like, it didn't blend in the greatest. I did eventually put it down on my desk and do it the right way. And what do you know? It worked better. So, you know, don't be me. Don't be lazy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and the leaf on this die has 2 layers, the stem and then the upper leaves. And I cut it backwards. The stem should have been the darker paper and the upper leaf should have been the lighter paper because it's like the folded side. But, you know, it looks fine. Or maybe I didn't do it wrong. I don't know. Looking at it, it looks like maybe I did do it okay. I don't know. I did not cut the blossoms. So there are a couple of stems on these leaves that are a little bit naked. I'm not super concerned about it. I don't think that unless you knew that the die came with blossoms that you would notice that it was missing. And then I had to figure out how to put this on and have the entire thing stay on the card. I probably should have not had the leaves hanging off the bottom because, you know, the lemon's coming from a tree and the leaves would be higher than all the things, right? I was not, all the things I'm seeing now that I didn't see when I was making the card. But anyway, I've managed to cover up that middle point that does not meet perfectly. And I'm using the Honeybee Harvest Pearls, the little yellow ones. And I'm doing 2 groups, a group of 3 and a group of 2. And I'm just using these yellow because they kind of match the lemon. I did not put a sentiment on this card because a lot of times I don't. All right, and here we're going to zoom through the second card put together. And this card put together, I did remember to put my prints all the upright direction, but I did not line up my seams. So instead of having that kind of the seam line where you have the horizontal and vertical lines meeting in the middle, and then the 2 diagonal lines meeting in the middle, I have more like an arrow. And I did not even realize it till it was all put together. I'm assembling this on a piece of scrap paper. It's just copy paper. About 4 by 5 1/4. It did need a little trimming. And here I'm pulling out a piece of black cardstock, and I've cut some 1/8 strips of black cardstock. And this is how I'm going to create that, the black seaming from the picture, right? Because the picture I saw had that black panel in the, you know, it had the black in between all of the triangles. I think that, so this is how I did the hexagon one last week. And I think probably how I should have done the hexagon one was the way I did the first card in today's video, where I just spaced it out on a piece of black cardstock. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, so now I'm looking at it going, crud, I got my lines all backwards. Creating a card base because, you know what, whatever, it is what it is at this point, and this is an extra card. But I don't love it. And what am I going to put in the middle of it? So I pulled out this My Favorite Things Happy Birthday die. It covers almost the entire thing. And I cut it in black cardstock. And I used the negative and a little piece of washi tape to hold that in place, to put all the letters in. I am not going to make you watch me put all these letters in because, holy cow, that took a minute and a half. or, you know, several minutes and a half. I did put a little bit of Tombow glue on the back of the letter and just popped it into the cutout. I noticed almost immediately the problem with this is my black cardstock lines. They are taller than the pattern paper. So my happy birthday letters are not necessarily exactly even, and they don't pop. I did a little bit of surgery off camera to remove that black line through the middle of that P because it just was weird. I'm adding some black gems. These are the cool pearls from Honeybees. I'm just kind of, I don't know. And then I didn't love it. So I cut the same die out again in white cardstock. And I can't say that I love this one any better, but at least it's more readable, most of the letters. There's a couple letters on that white backed pattern paper that I'm having the same issue as I had with the black letters. But, you know, we're just going to make it work. And after I added the white letters on, I pulled out the cool pearls and added a couple more. Just because, you know, if one is enough, then 15 is perfect, right? And I think there's probably like easily at least 12 pearls on this card. I don't know. I kind of went pearl crazy. It's probably overkill. But I was trying to make up for the lack of planning in this card. So here are my two pattern piece cards. The first one turned out. The second one was questionable. I don't know. I have no words for this because it was fun and I learned a lot. But man, did I learn. I learned patience. I had to exercise patience. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know it was a quick video. I hope you enjoyed it. I've added a couple of other videos here I think you will like as well. Also added that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you did. Leave me a thumbs up if you liked the video. And leave me a comment down below and tell me how many pearls you put on each card. Have a great day.